It says organic. It says made with love. It shows smiling babies and farm-fresh vegetables. But behind the pastel packaging and soft marketing language, not every baby food pouch or jar deserves blind trust. Some contain surprisingly high natural sugar levels. Some rely heavily on fruit concentrates. Some have raised questions in past reports about heavy metals in certain batches. Others simply lack balanced nutrition for growing brains. Parents assume anything sold in the baby aisle must meet the highest standards. But when it comes to infant nutrition, details matter. Welcome to Culinary Cipher, where we decode the labels so you can decode your food. Tonight, we're counting down 8 baby food brands and types parents should double-check, and 2 safer options that prioritize transparency and balance. Number 8. Fruit-forward pouches marketed as veggie blends. Flip over mini spinach apple, carrot mango, or kale pear pouches and you'll often notice something. The first ingredient is fruit. In many cases, apple puree or apple concentrate makes up the majority of the pouch. Vegetables appear lower on the ingredient list, and sugar content is naturally high due to fruit dominance. While fruit sugars are naturally occurring, repeated exposure to very sweet flavors can shape early taste preferences towards sweet foods, reduce acceptance of savory vegetables later, and spike blood sugar more than balanced blends. The front might highlight hidden veggies, but if fruit is doing most of the heavy lifting, it's more dessert than dinner. 7. Rice-based baby cereals without diversification. Rice cereal has been a traditional first food for decades. However, recent testing over the years has raised concerns about arsenic levels in rice products, repeated rice consumption without grain rotation, and limited nutrient diversity. Rice itself isn't the enemy, but exclusive reliance on rice-based cereals without incorporating oats, barley, quinoa, or multigrain options may limit variety. Parents should double-check whether the brand tests for heavy metals, whether they disclose sourcing, and whether they offer diversified grain options. Variety matters, even in early feeding stages. 6. Organic labeled brands without transparency reports. Organic sounds reassuring, and organic certification can reduce pesticide exposure. But organic does not automatically mean low heavy metal levels, balanced nutrition, and transparent batch testing. Some baby food companies now publish detailed heavy metal testing reports and sourcing transparency. Others rely solely on the organic label without providing additional safety disclosures. Organic is a good start, but transparency is better. 5. Sweetened yogurt or dessert-style baby snacks. Some baby snack lines include yogurt melts, fruit yogurt blends, and dessert-style puree cups, often marketed as naturally sweet, no added sugar. Even without added sugar, these can contain high natural sugar from fruit concentrates, flavor enhancers, and sweetness levels that reinforce dessert expectations. Babies don't need intense sweetness. Early flavor exposure shapes lifelong habits. Savory vegetables and balanced proteins are often underrepresented in snack-focused lines. Before we continue, here's your quick Culinary Cipher checkpoint. If you like content that helps you see past marketing and understand what's really in your food, this channel was made for you. Culinary Cipher, decode the labels, decode your food. Now let's keep going. 4. Shelf-stable meat blends with minimal protein content. Meat-based baby foods should be a solid protein source, but some blends list water as the first ingredient, broth or puree base dominating the volume, and a lower meat percentage than expected. Parents may assume a pouch labeled chicken dinner is protein-dense, but when meat appears lower in the ingredient list, protein content may be modest. Check for grams of protein per serving, meat percentage, and sodium levels, as some savory blends are surprisingly salty. Labels can be misleading if you don't review the nutrition panel. 3. Pouches encouraging sipping instead of spoon feeding. Convenient squeeze pouches are everywhere, but when babies sip directly from pouches, they may consume quickly without mindful chewing. They miss oral motor development from spoon feeding. And lastly, sugar exposure lingers on teeth. Dentists often recommend using pouches on a spoon, limiting constant sipping, and also encouraging textured foods as soon as developmentally appropriate. It's not the pouch itself, it's the feeding pattern. Convenience shouldn't override developmental milestones. 2. Snack puffs and teething biscuits with refined grains. Many baby snacks are marketed as whole grain, fortified, easy to dissolve, but ingredient lists sometimes reveal refined rice flour, tapioca starch, added sweeteners, or flavorings. While occasional snacks are fine, over-reliance on processed puff snacks may replace more nutrient-dense whole foods, reinforce preference for crunchy processed textures, or provide limited protein and healthy fats. Baby snacks should supplement meals, not replace balanced foods. 1. Brands linked in past reports to heavy metal concerns without clear reformulation updates. In recent years, multiple investigations and reports raised concerns about arsenic, lead, cadmium, and mercury. These were often linked to certain ingredients like rice, sweet potatoes, and carrots. Important context. Heavy metals can occur naturally in soil. The issue becomes, how often do brands test? Do they publish their results? And do they reformulate or rotate sourcing? Parents should double-check. If the brand releases updated safety testing, if they cap heavy metal thresholds below regulatory limits, if they are transparent about sourcing. Silence is not reassurance. Transparency is. Why this matters more than ever. Babies are not small adults. Their bodies have developing brains, have immature detox systems, and absorb certain substances more readily. That means nutritional quality and safety standards matter more, not less, in early life. No single jar is catastrophic, but cumulative exposure over months can matter. And nutrition during the first 1,000 days plays a critical role in brain development, immune formation, taste preferences, and growth patterns. Baby food is not just convenience. It's foundation. Now, 2 safer options to consider. Again, no brand is perfect, but some brands demonstrate stronger commitments to transparency and balanced nutrition. Safer option number 2, brands that publish batch testing and heavy metal reports. Some baby food companies now publish third-party heavy metal testing results, provide detailed sourcing transparency, diversify grain bases like oat, barley, and quinoa, and avoid heavy fruit dominance in veggie blends. Look for brands that set internal limits lower than regulatory standards, clearly state protein percentages, and rotate ingredients to reduce exposure risk. Public testing reports are a powerful sign of accountability. Safer option number 1, simple, single-ingredient purees, especially early on. For early feeding stages, simple options often win. Single vegetable puree, single fruit puree, and plain meats without added flavorings. Benefits include clear ingredient control, lower cumulative exposure risk, easier allergy tracking, and less sweetness conditioning. You know exactly what your baby is eating. No flavor layering, no mystery blends. Sometimes simplicity is the safest path. What parents should double-check every time before tossing that pouch into your cart? What's the first ingredient? How much protein per serving? Is fruit dominating vegetable blends? Does the brand publish safety testing? Are grains diversified beyond rice? Is sugar, natural or added, excessive? Does the product encourage sipping rather than spoon feeding? If marketing focuses on cute packaging but avoids clear data, that's worth pausing. A reality check. Not every jar on the shelf is dangerous. Not every pouch is harmful. But blind trust isn't wise either. Most baby foods meet regulatory standards. The question is whether they exceed them or just meet the bare minimum. Parents today have more information than ever. That's a gift, but it also means responsibility to read beyond the front label. Because the more you understand what's inside the package, the more confident you become in the choices you make. Culinary Cipher. Decode the labels, decode your food. See you in the next investigation.